TLC wants you to believe in fairy tales. They want you to think that after decades of emotional neglect, gaslighting, and the slow-motion collapse of a plural marriage, a miracle just happened. They want you to believe that David Woolley, a successful construction executive, magically appeared on a dating app at the exact moment the most famous reality TV ex-wife in America became single. It's a cute story, a tidy story, but once you study the timeline, the business records, and the deleted posts, one thing becomes clear: the math does not add up. David didn't randomly find Christine. He arrived for her. And he arrived with a plan. Kody Brown never saw this coming because he was looking for a fight. David came with a blueprint. Today we're not just looking at a wedding, we're exposing a master strategy years in the making. This wasn't fate. This was a tactical insertion into the Brown family dynamic. To understand how deep this goes, we first have to tear apart the official myth. We're told that after Christine left Flagstaff and returned to Utah, she tried dating through a matchmaker, got frustrated, then took matters into her own hands on a generic app. And then miraculously she matched with a man who checked every single box. A widower who understands loss. A financially secure man who isn't chasing TLC money. A man who loves kids, embraces her massive family, doesn't want polygamy, and is ready for monogamy. On paper, he is perfect. But when you look at the actual statistical probability of such a man living in her exact radius, using the same app at the same time, and matching instantly, the odds don't just shrink, they practically evaporate. So we have to examine who David Woolley really is. He's not impulsive. He's not a wanderer. He's a builder. A construction boss works from blueprints. He checks foundations. He measures twice before cutting once. Men like that do not rely on coincidence. They rely on preparation. And that's why a theory has exploded across message boards and insider circles. David didn't just stumble into Christine's life. He identified her. This is where the Watcher theory begins. A theory TLC will never acknowledge because it breaks the fourth wall. Consider the possibility that David Woolley watched Sister Wives long before he ever spoke to Christine. Picture a man grieving the loss of his first wife, sitting on his couch, flipping through channels, and seeing a family falling apart and seeing one woman in particular being emotionally starved. For 16 seasons, Kody Brown gave a master class on how not to treat a wife. He exposed Christine's insecurities, her need for validation, her longing to be heard, her hunger for affection. In doing so, Kody unintentionally handed any observant man the exact instruction manual for winning Christine's heart. Kody was chaotic, so the new man needed to be calm. Kody was demanding, so the new man needed to be gentle. Kody wouldn't help with the kids, so the new man needed to be a hands-on dad. Viewed through this lens, David's behavior stops looking like luck and starts looking like precision. When David began dating Christine, notice how perfect his responses were. According to early leaks, he knew exactly how to counter every insecurity Kody created. When she doubted her age or beauty doubts Kody fueled, David didn't simply compliment her. He called her a queen. That word dismantles everything Kody built. It flips the script. It elevates her from basement wife to highest rank. A random man might stumble onto the right words. A man who studied the tapes would know exactly which words would heal her. We also have to talk about David's tragedy. He lost his first wife to suicide, an unimaginable burden of grief. Kody operates on surface-level emotion, reacting with tantrums and ego. David has lived through a level of pain far deeper than Kody can comprehend. That depth creates safety. And then comes the timing. Rumors suggest that David's extended circle knew exactly who the Browns were long before the match. In Utah, especially in communities tied to fundamentalist history, everyone knows everyone. The idea that David didn't recognize Christine is laughable. He knew, and because he knew, he had a head start. While Kody was fighting over Coyote Pass and COVID protocols, David was likely preparing the landing zone in Utah. Maybe he didn't interfere while she was still technically married. But once she announced her separation, he made his move, patiently, strategically. Now we reach the infiltration phase. And this is where the brilliance shines. If David wanted to dismantle Kody's control, attacking Kody directly would only push Christine into defense mode. Instead, he went for the heart of the family, the children. And his smartest move was truly the youngest, the most visibly neglected in later seasons. David's bond with Truly didn't start on camera. According to insiders, it started long before. He built trust, stability, comfort, and once Truly felt safe with him, that was checkmate. Kody lost his leverage. But David didn't stop there. He aligned with Janelle, Kody's last emotional anchor. Those double date photos weren't just cute outings. They were strategic alliances. Janelle saw Christine thriving. She saw what a real supportive partner looks like. And as she compared it to Kody, the rope holding her to him snapped. David didn't just marry Christine. He absorbed the entire emotional infrastructure Kody neglected. Then comes the psychology of silence. Fake leaks claim Kody doesn't care about David, but if you understand narcissists, you know silence is fear. Kody can't confront David because he can't win. Kody's power is volume. David's power is presence. If Kody screams, David looks like the victim. If Kody ignores him, David looks like the bigger man. David put Kody into a trap with no exit. A deleted photo from a private account shows David at the head of a family table, not demanding the seat, but naturally given it by the kids. That was the moment the crown passed hands. Kody became the king in exile, shouting in Flagstaff, while David became the king in Utah, surrounded by Kody's biological legacy. Then there's the lifestyle. Kody promised houses, promised land, promised a big family home, but it was all talk. David builds real homes. Christine didn't move into dreams, she moved into reality. A finished house, a stable life. The Trojan horse wasn't romance, it was stability. He infiltrated by offering the one thing Kody never could, certainty. Financially, David brought an empire. Public records show he owns a thriving drywall company in booming Utah markets. While Kody struggled with debt on raw land, David was building neighborhoods. Christine's financial fear evaporated overnight. Kody lost his last weapon, money. Even the nachos moment wasn't a coincidence. It was psychological warfare. Kody mocked Christine over nachos. David made nachos a romantic symbol. A direct signal, I love what you hated. That's not randomness. That's a message. Over time, a pattern forms. Deleted timeline hints. Rumors he appeared near events before the official match. Evidence they were in the same circles months prior. Perhaps they crossed paths before she ever swiped right. Maybe she didn't recognize him, but he recognized her. If he encouraged her, supported her, or simply listened before the cameras rolled, then he wasn't just a boyfriend, he was the architect of her exit. The silent producer of her liberation. So what's the end game? The wedding wasn't just a celebration. It was a coronation. The new era began. Kody wasn't invited. His absence was louder than his presence. David stood at the altar with Christine, with her kids, with Chanel, everyone Kody pushed away. And then the rumors began. A possible spin-off. Business filings tied to new projects. A brand forming that doesn't need Kody at all. If David and Christine get their own show, that will be the final blow. David would take not just Kody's wife, not just his kids, but his career. And through it all, the quiet truth remains, losing a spouse gave David a depth of emotion that Kody's ego-driven chaos could never compete with. When you've survived true grief, a narcissist's tantrum isn't frightening, it's just noise. TLC wants you to believe in fairy tales. They want you to think that after decades of emotional neglect, gaslighting, and the slow-motion collapse of a plural marriage, a miracle just happened. They want you to believe that David Woolley, a successful construction executive, magically appeared on a dating app at the exact moment the most famous reality TV ex-wife in America became single. It's a tidy story, but when you examine the timeline, the business records, and the deleted posts, one thing becomes clear: the math does not add up. David didn't randomly find Christine. He came with a plan. Kody Brown never saw this coming because he was looking for a fight. David came with a blueprint. The official narrative tells us that Christine, fresh off leaving Flagstaff and returning to Utah, tried a matchmaker, got frustrated, and then tried dating on a generic app. And then miraculously she matched with a man who seemed perfect in every way. A widower who understood loss, financially independent, loves kids, monogamous, and ready to embrace her massive family. On paper, it's flawless, but the statistical odds of such a man existing in her exact radius, using the same app at the same time, and matching instantly are practically zero. David Woolley isn't impulsive. He's a builder. A construction executive works from blueprints. He checks foundations. He measures twice before cutting once. Men like him don't rely on accidents, they rely on preparation. Which is why a theory is spreading across insiders and message boards. David didn't stumble upon Christine. He identified her, and he watched. Long before he sent a message, he may have observed sister wives, learning the family's dynamics, noting where Christine was starved for validation, affection, and support. Kody Brown inadvertently broadcast every flaw, every neglectful moment, every insecurity. Any man watching could see exactly how to win Christine's heart. Kody was chaotic, demanding, and disengaged. The new man needed calm, patience, and strategy. When David began dating Christine, insiders report that his behavior was almost too perfect. He didn't just compliment her. He elevated her. when she expressed insecurities about her age or appearance insecurities Kody once fed David didn't just reassure her. He called her a queen. That one word dismantled the hierarchy Kody built and placed Christine at the top. A man acting blindly might get lucky. A man who studied the tapes knew exactly which words would heal her. David's tragedy also plays a crucial role. He lost his first wife to suicide, a grief so profound it reshapes perspective. Kody's reactions are surface-level tantrums, ego, and chaos while David carries the weight of true loss. That depth created a sense of safety for Christine. He wasn't intimidated by her baggage because he carried heavier burdens. He could remain steady where Kody could not. Timing, too, was everything. Evidence suggests David and his circle were aware of the Brown family long before the official match. In tight-knit Utah communities, everyone knows everyone. The idea that David didn't recognize Christine is implausible, he knew. While Kody was busy in Flagstaff, arguing over property and CO rules, David could have been preparing the landing zone in Utah. He waited patiently until Christine's separation was official, then executed his move with precision. The infiltration began not by challenging Kody directly, but by winning the hearts of the children. Truly, the youngest and most neglected became the linchpin. Insider leaks suggest David spent months bonding with her before cameras rolled, building trust and safety. By the time the public saw them together, Truly was already comfortable. Once Truly was on his side, Kody's leverage over Christine collapsed. David also formed alliances with Janelle, the last remaining emotional anchor for Kody. Those outings and photos weren't casual, they were strategic. By demonstrating what a supportive partner could look like, David exposed the gaps in Kody's neglect. He didn't just marry Christine. He absorbed the entire emotional infrastructure that Kody had failed to maintain. Kody's narcissistic tendencies explain why we've seen silence instead of confrontation. Narcissists thrive on chaos and control. David doesn't engage in drama. He dominates through competence and presence. If Kody yells, David looks like the victim. If Kody ignores him, David looks like the bigger man. He has effectively trapped Kody in a no-win scenario. A deleted photo from a private account shows David at the head of a family table, naturally given the seat by the children. That image is the smoking gun. Kody, the former king, is exiled in Flagstaff while David sits surrounded by the legacy Kody built. David's genius isn't limited to emotion. He provides stability where Kody offered only promises. Kody talked about building a family home on Coyote Pass but delivered only talk. David builds reality. When Christine moved in with him, she moved into a finished home and a life of certainty. The Trojan horse wasn't romance, it was stability. And it dismantled Kody's control with quiet precision. Even small moments were tactical. The viral nachos incident? Psychological warfare. Kody mocked Christine eating nachos. David recreated it, sharing the moment with affection. It was a direct message: I value what you discarded. Every action, every gesture was calculated. Nothing was left to chance. By the end of this phase, David's influence had shifted the family dynamics completely. He had won the trust of the children, aligned allies like Janelle, provided emotional and financial stability, and neutralized Kody's chaos without a single public confrontation. The stage was set for the coronation, a wedding that wasn't just a celebration, but a public statement of the new reality. The financial angle is just as critical as the emotional. For decades, Kody controlled the purse strings, the land, the scarcity. Love, resources, and attention were rationed to keep the wives in competition. David didn't just bring affection, he brought an empire. Public records show he owns a successful drywall and construction business, operating in Utah's booming housing market. While Kody struggled to finance a dream on Coyote Pass, David was literally building communities. Overnight, the financial power dynamic shifted. No longer dependent on TLC checks or Kody's limited resources, Christine gained independence. Kody's leverage evaporated. Winning over the Suns' Garrison, Gabriel, and Peden was the next challenge. The boys needed a male role model who didn't demand loyalty but earned it. Social media interactions, leaked barbecue photos, and body language analysis suggest they gravitated toward David immediately. He represents the quiet alpha, patient, steady, and genuinely attentive. Kody demands respect. David commands it effortlessly through action. The boys tested him repeatedly, and he passed every challenge without raising his voice. Kody had lost his kingdom. A patriarch without his son's loyalty is powerless. And David didn't steal them, he earned them by being the father Kody never was. Meanwhile, the supposed explosive confrontation between Kody and David never materialized on camera. Interviews were filmed separately. Scheduling, producers claimed, but the truth is simpler. Kody is terrified of the contrast. Side by side, the visual difference is catastrophic. David is grounded and broad. Kody is frantic and manic. The cameras reveal what words cannot. An off-camera phone call, unverified but widely reported, allegedly contained just one statement: "She is safe now." That simple declaration destroys Kody's narrative, positioning David as protector and Kody as danger. Psychological checkmate. Every calculated gesture reinforced this. The nachos moment was no accident. Eating nachos with Christine publicly, replicating Kody's mocking behavior, sent a clear signal to fans and family: David values what Kody despised. It was a subtle, strategic demolition of Kody's authority, executed with precision. The Trojan horse wasn't a romantic partner. It was a carefully deployed operative, dismantling the patriarch's control piece by piece. The wedding became the ultimate declaration. Guest list, seating, speeches all curated. David didn't reference the past trauma or Kody explicitly. He spoke of the future. By refusing Kody oxygen in the room, he effectively suffocated his influence. Every seat, every smile, every interaction sent a message: the Brown family's center of gravity had shifted. Kody, isolated in Flagstaff, was left to watch the life he once controlled flourish without him. David's integration extends beyond Christine and the children. He's establishing the Woolley dynasty, blending his family with the Browns. Holidays, traditions, even minor daily rituals are now centered around David's household. He didn't just marry a wife, he merged the family culture, creating a new nucleus of influence and affection. Kody is left with legal bindings only, while David occupies the hearts, loyalty, and memories of the household. Behind the scenes, the production team may have quietly supported this narrative. TLC has had years of dealing with Kody's erratic behavior, witnessing neglect, and documenting dysfunction. David's hero edits soft lighting, calm music, composed dialogue contrasts sharply with Kody's jagged, manic portrayal. The network reinforced the Trojan horse story because it was compelling television. David's calm, competent presence made Kody's chaos look weak, further cementing his quiet dominance.